Here's the frame data for Mordex. Pause if you want to go over it. The Scythe neutral signature has really big hitboxes and a nice upward range, so it's a very strong anti-air attack. Use it whenever the enemy is approaching you from the air and looks like they want to directly contest. This could beat out most aerial downward attacks when used correctly. This move also has a decent amount of active frames, meaning hitbox frames, so it can catch a dodge pretty well if you time it right. If the enemy looks like they're approaching from the air to dodge, then try to predict where they're dodging and then neutral signature. A technique you can do to get some nice early kills is to follow up on a string starter like side light, neutral light, or down light with a gravity cancel, which is where you dodge in place and use heavy attack in the air, into a neutral signature. This will be sure to catch them if they spot dodge, which is dodging in place, or if they dodge up as well. Plus, since this move kills off the top, doing it a bit off the ground lets it kill a bit earlier than normal. The Scythe side signature has enormous range, so you can contest any light attack in the game with it, including bow downlight. So throw it out a lot whenever the enemy is trying to outspace you, show them who's boss at long range. It also has a lot of active frames, so you can catch enemies dodging very easily. A common situation is when you're against weapons that likes to space, like spear, blasters, or hammer, and they tend to dodge backwards when you approach them. Do a speed dodge into side signature, and it will catch them trying to back dodge far away from you. Try not to use this move when the enemy is jumpy though, because it lasts very long and has a bit of a dead zone, especially diagonally above you, that the enemy can use to punish easily if they're in the air already. If you know how to use Hattori or Ember's down signature, then you pretty much know how to use the Scythe down signature as well. It serves as an anti-engage by moving backwards really quickly and then hitting where you previously were right after. It's great against overly aggressive players that tries to dodge in a lot or overcommit on an attack. A trick you can do with it is to charge it for about half a second longer than usual. A lot of players tend to expect you to not charge it and then dodge forward to punish, but if you don't, then they have nothing to punish and you can instead punish them for rushing you. This move has a forward active input that pushes the enemy forward instead of the default backward. Simply hold forward when you land the signature to push them forward instead of backwards. The best direction to throw them would usually be off of the platform. The Gauntlet neutral signature is a high risk, high reward kind of move. It has small hitboxes and not a lot of range, but it does 26 damage and can kill a bit earlier than recovery can for covering about the same area that it does. If you don't charge this signature, then it will cover the area a single jump distance above you. So if you can get a hard read on the enemy going to that area, whether it's by jumping or dodging, then using neutral signature is very strong. I find this to be very rare, especially since this is Gauntlets we're talking about, and it has a really strong neutral air and recovery, so no good player will try to ever be in that position. This makes charging it seem to be the more common option. When you charge the neutral signature, you move backwards and downwards, then the hitboxes cover a much lower area, so you can use this to bait enemies into going below you because they see you jump, but then you end up hitting them lower than they expect when you charge the signature. This could happen the most against shorter range weapons such as guitars, gauntlets, and sword. The Gauntlet side signature has very short range, so don't try to contest most attacks with it, since you'll be outranged almost every time. You can try to contest a lot of grounded attacks though, since you leap forward into the air during the signature, so you can bypass a lot of grounded attacks like spear neutral light or sword downlight. I would mostly use it as an attack bait read because of how far it can jump. This typically works best against longer ranged weapons like blasters and spear. What you want to do is almost walk into the enemy's max range to give them the impression that they can hit you, then walk backwards, and as they miss, you use side signature and it will hit them during their recovery time. Also decent as a back dodge read. Most common situation I see is when you land a neutral light. Most enemies would dodge backwards, so at white damage, you can side signature to catch them. Works best if you wait for a short moment. At yellow damage, you can chase dodge forward and then side signature. You don't have to wait for this since the chase dodge takes a moment as well. The Gauntlet down signature is one of the quicker signatures Mordex has. It doesn't have very good range, so don't try to contest much with it. It's a move that you only want to use as a kill option, because downlight into sidelight does more damage and covers about the same area. It just doesn't kill, but is much safer. This move should be used mostly as a close range dodge read. It has a decent amount of active frames, so it can do that quite decently. The area that it covers is pretty small though, so you have to get a good read to land this usually. You can also use it as a punish if the enemy misses spaces with a shorter range move, which is quite rare against good opponents. And there's a quick string you can do, which is downlight into down signature. It's only a 2-frame dodge window string, so even good players can fall for it frequently. This move also has an active input, which is forward, where it grabs the enemy, jumps a bit forward, then slams them downward at a 45-degree angle, which either knocks out the enemy or makes it very easy to edgeguard them at orange damage. This only happens though if you do it close enough to the edge, otherwise the enemy will hit the ground, which reduces their pushback momentum by about 30%, making it kill them much later than if you didn't slam them against the ground. The default down signature sends the enemy almost straight up into the sky, which can kill as early as 140 on some enemies. If you like this guide, then please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.